Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to take another look at yet another rock in the solar system. This one is Dione. Dione. Seems to be several ways to pronounce this. Anyway, I got to take care of some business real quick. First of all, Metalhead wanted me to put out there, where I'm getting the pictures and that kind of thing. In the past, I didn't want to do it just because so many of those pictures that I used have disappeared out of the archives. And I'm going to go ahead and put this back in there and probably continue to do that, I guess, if that's what people are looking for. I want to let you know about a viewer, and his name is Ben Pelham. And he has the most incredible website, and he has the most incredible pictures. He's at the top of the game as far as what everyone else is doing. I really recommend that you go to his website. Your teeth are going to fall out when you see his moon pictures. So I will put his email link in the description. Also, I want to say that I'm having so much trouble with YouTube. I would really appreciate it if you want to leave a message. I'd love to hear it. If you try to leave me a message below the description, most likely I won't get it. So I'm also going to leave in the description my email address, and I would appreciate anybody that wants to leave a message that they email me, and I will return your messages too. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. So Dione, whoever would have thought? Now I fully expected that this rock would have been completely covered, and I'm quite sure that all the rest are as well. But the pictures are so incredible that you can see how the buildings wrap around the curvature of this moon. You can see the planets coming down and around. And this is all about the wispy lines. And every time NASA talks about something, whether they bring something up, whether it's just a cutesy thing or whatever, you really got to pay attention because there's something there. So they're talking about these wispy lines that cover the the moon. You see these lines here? This is what they've commented on several images of Dione. These wispy lines, that's what they call it. And it's pretty obvious when you look closer, and you don't have to look all that much closer, that these white lines, these wispy lines, are nothing more than rows of white structures. And you can see them very clearly. You can see the structures coming down from the top left as it comes around the side of the moon, and then from the middle bottom going up to the right, you can see these white lines going across. So yeah, it's not unexpected. I couldn't say whether or not these folks are building on top of each other yet or not. It could be that in this moon that's only I think it was just under 700 miles across. It could be that these people are living on top of each other. Who knows? Maybe they hollow the middle out too and live down inside. Who knows? Yeah, I think it would be so strange to be on a small rock, that's 700 miles across. I mean, that's not that big, and be floating around Saturn. I think that sounds really wild. Now, here's some lines that, if there ever was a case for something that's unnatural, this is it. These lines are obviously not natural, and there's no way to even pretend that they are. Again, I'm kind of surprised that they would even show a picture like this. But again, they probably didn't expect somebody to be looking this closely either. Some of these pictures were really difficult to work with. This is one of them. It's hard to get good clarity, but you can still see what's there. And then right there in the center where these lines crisscross, where they meet in the middle, there seems to be a tall building right there. Now that tall building that I'm pointing at actually is the result of a pixel, or the edge of a pixel. And you'll see a lot of those tall skinny things about that size. That is what that's from. But next to that one is a larger white building, a little shorter, also right in the middle of where all those lines come together. Don't know how many miles long those lines are. Again, the cross section of this planet is only about 700 miles. And when you look at Dione, it looks a lot like Venus, doesn't it? Really, it looks just exactly like Venus. You've got all these wispy white lines that go every direction that seem to be, well, I would say they were, seem to be natural, but I mean, what in nature makes big, long, white lines that go for, 50 miles? I don't think anything does. So, and also, one of the things I noticed in one of the descriptions from the photojournal was they were talking about the amount of these lines, and never mind. I'll get back to that. Anyway, these lines. Very frequently you will see two white lines with dark buildings or larger buildings in the middle. And we've seen this over and over. We've seen it on, virtually everywhere. Venus, we've seen it on Ganymede, Mars. So it's not uncommon. I don't know what it is. Is it like a gated community on the inside? I don't know. Another really tough picture. Just a point of interest, almost dead center. You see a line, a very straight line coming down from the left. We'll get a few pictures of it. I don't really focus on that. If you look at these, this picture at first looks really messed up, but if you look at the left where these buildings are coming down around the curvature of the moon, what you have here are a lot of shadows, and there's some really cool pictures of buildings in there. And so there's going to be a lot of different looks. As I said, this has been a difficult image to work with, a couple of these images. By the way, I'm using about 3 of them from the photojournal, and I will have all of the links in the description. And when we see these, generally I'm looking at these kinds of pictures at the round circles. They seem to be built up above the ground and not a crater. And that's right, NASA said that Dione has been pummeled by meteors. And actually, I'm going to have to say, now that we know, I don't care if you're looking at Venus or any of the other places where we see these craters, if there is mass humanity covering the globe, whatever globe we're looking at, you're not going to see crater strikes, right? They have to be artificial. So many of these pictures, when you look at a picture from space at on a globe that's got apparently has craters, it's hard to tell if they're innies or outies. It's a visual thing. But here it seems that the vast majority of these small, what appear to be craters from a distance, are outies. They're little clusters of buildings that rise above what's around instead of going down in. And this, every time I look at it, it just reminds me of Venus and or any other place. So really it's the structures and the rows of buildings and all of that. This is all stuff that we've seen before. We've just never seen it quite like this on a little tiny globe where you can see the rows of the structures as they come around the curvature. And sometimes it just seems like a mess. It's really, really difficult to tone down this really bright stuff. So it gives you such a contrast, it doesn't visually make sense. Right here in the middle, you see these really dark areas. Those are extremely black buildings. I find that very interesting. I don't know what that's all about. Almost looks like a big crack in the surface. Good shot of this crater on the left here. I'm going to call it a crater. I don't know what else you call it. Raised construction, you know, I don't know. It's like dunes. There's just no better word for it. I don't have any other word. So I think these people are telepathically together. And I think it is always like that, since they can't go outside and they have to live with each other on the inside all the time. They must be connected telepathically. It's the only thing that makes sense. It'd be hard to be an individual in a place like this, it seems. So we'll be coming back to the moons. I never know exactly where I'm going next. Very, very busy little globe. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon.